Welcome to Audio Vision, your favorite channel for useful audio books that reveal the secrets of the mind. Today, we dive into an exciting and riveting guide, The Dark Secrets of Psychology: The Ultimate Guide, by Jack Richard. Are you ready to uncover advanced manipulation techniques that can affect the world around you? Do you want to learn how to read body language and analyze people with just one look? This audiobook is your comprehensive toolkit for mastering psychological tricks and persuasion. Before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends. By doing this, you won't miss any of our insightful content. Now, sit back, relax, and get ready to delve into the fascinating world of psychology and discover the power of the human mind. Now let's start. The Dark Secrets of Psychology: The Ultimate Guide. Introduction. Psychology, at its core, is a field dedicated to understanding the intricacies of the human mind and behavior. It seeks to unravel the mysteries behind why we think, feel, and act the way we do. Traditionally, the primary aim of psychology has been to promote mental health and well-being. This involves diagnosing and treating mental illnesses, enhancing personal development, and improving overall quality of life. However, there exists a shadowy realm within psychology that delves into more controversial and ethically ambiguous areas: manipulation, persuasion, and the subtle art of influencing others. This darker side of psychology is both captivating and unsettling. It explores how psychological principles can be used not just for healing and growth, but also for control and exploitation. By understanding these tactics, one can gain an edge in various aspects of life, from personal relationships to professional settings. This knowledge can also serve as a shield, helping individuals recognize and defend against attempts to manipulate them. In this ultimate guide, we will dive deep into the dark secrets of psychology, exploring techniques used to analyze people, methods of persuasion, manipulation strategies, and the art of reading body language. We will also examine how these tactics have evolved over time and their applications in modern society. Whether you're looking to enhance your social interactions, improve your persuasive skills, or protect yourself from being manipulated, this guide offers valuable insights and practical advice. Understanding the basics. What is psychology? Psychology, at its core, is the scientific study of the mind and behavior. It encompasses various aspects of human experience, from cognitive processes and emotional responses to social interactions and mental health. In simpler terms, psychology seeks to understand why people think, feel, and behave the way they do. It explores the workings of the human mind, including how we perceive the world, process information, and interact with others. Moreover, psychology delves into the complexities of human emotions, motivations, and how they influence our actions. Psychologists use empirical methods and scientific principles to investigate different facets of human behavior. They conduct research, experiments, and observations to uncover patterns and underlying mechanisms behind our thoughts and actions. Psychology is a multifaceted discipline that encompasses various subfields, each focusing on different aspects of human behavior and mental processes. From clinical psychology, which deals with diagnosing and treating mental disorders, to cognitive psychology, which studies how we think and perceive the world, psychology covers a wide spectrum of topics. By studying psychology, we gain insights into ourselves and others, which can be applied in numerous areas of life, including education, business, health care, and relationships. Key psychological theories. Several key theories underpin the field of psychology, providing a framework for understanding how we think, feel, and behave. Point 1. Freud psychoanalysis. Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory is one of the most influential theories in psychology. Freud proposed that much of human behavior is determined by unconscious conflicts, desires, and childhood experiences. According to psychoanalysis, our thoughts and actions are influenced by unconscious drives such as aggression and sexuality. Freud developed techniques like free association and dream analysis to explore the unconscious mind. Point 2. Behaviorism by B.F. Skinner. Behaviorism, pioneered by B.F. Skinner, focuses on observable behavior and the environmental factors that shape it. Skinner believed that all behavior is learned through conditioning, either through rewards, positive reinforcement, or punishments, negative reinforcement. Behaviorism emphasizes the importance of studying behavior objectively, without considering internal mental processes. 3. Carl Rogers' humanistic approach. Carl Rogers introduced the humanistic approach to psychology, which emphasizes personal growth, self-actualization, and the inherent goodness of individuals. Unlike psychoanalysis and behaviorism, the humanistic approach focuses on subjective experiences and the idea that people strive towards fulfilling their potential. Rogers emphasized empathy, unconditional positive regard, and authenticity in therapeutic settings. These theories, among others, play a significant role in shaping our understanding of human behavior and mental processes. They provide different perspectives on how individuals develop, perceive the world, and interact with others. The role of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind plays a crucial role in shaping our actions and decisions. It serves as a repository of our memories, beliefs, and instincts that operate below the level of conscious awareness, influencing our behavior in subtle but powerful ways. While our conscious mind handles immediate tasks and rational thinking, much of what influences our behavior lies beneath the surface in the subconscious. Here's how the subconscious mind impacts our lives. 1. Storage of memories. The subconscious mind stores vast amounts of memories, including those we may not consciously recall. These memories can influence our reactions, emotions, and decision-making without us being aware of it. Point 2. Formation of beliefs. Our subconscious mind houses beliefs and perceptions formed throughout our lives. These beliefs, whether positive or negative, shape how we view ourselves, others, and the world around us. They can influence our attitudes, preferences, and behaviors. Point 3. Instinctual responses. Many of our instinctual responses and habits are controlled by the subconscious mind. These automatic reactions help us navigate daily life without having to consciously think about every action. Point 4. Influence on behavior. Despite being outside of conscious awareness, the subconscious mind strongly influences our behavior. It can drive us to repeat patterns, seek familiar situations, or avoid perceived threats without us consciously realizing why we're doing so. Point 5. Processing of emotions. Emotions often originate in the subconscious mind before we become consciously aware of them. Our emotional reactions to events are influenced by past experiences, stored emotions, and subconscious cues. Point 6. Creative problem solving. The subconscious mind is also where creative problem solving occurs. When we let our mind wander or sleep on a problem, the subconscious continues to work in the background, often generating solutions or insights. Understanding the role of the subconscious mind is crucial because it helps us comprehend why we behave in certain ways and why change can be challenging. By becoming more aware of our subconscious influences, we can gain greater control over our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Analyzing people with psychological tricks. First impressions and snap judgments. First impressions are formed in mere seconds and can significantly influence how we perceive others. These snap judgments are based on cues like appearance, body language, and tone of voice, often setting the stage for our future interactions. Human beings are naturally inclined to make quick assessments of others upon first meeting them. Whether we realize it or not, our brains are constantly processing information and making split-second decisions about people we encounter. Here's why first impressions are so powerful. 1. Speed of judgment. Research shows that it takes only milliseconds for people to form initial impressions of others based on their appearance alone. These rapid judgments are evolutionary adaptations that helped our ancestors quickly assess potential threats and allies in their environment. 2. Appearance. Our appearance, including clothing, grooming, and body language, plays a significant role in shaping first impressions. Factors such as neatness, posture, and facial expressions can influence how others perceive us. 3. Body language. Body language speaks volumes, often louder than words. Gestures, posture, and facial expressions can convey confidence, friendliness, or nervousness, affecting how we are perceived by others. 4. Tone of voice. The tone of voice can convey emotions and attitudes, influencing how our message is received. A warm and enthusiastic tone can create a positive impression, while a monotone or aggressive tone can evoke negativity. 5. Cultural and social influences. Cultural background and social norms also play a role in shaping first impressions. What is considered appropriate or attractive can vary widely across different cultures and social groups. 6. Impact on future interactions. Once formed, first impressions tend to stick. They can influence how we interact with someone in the future, affecting our attitudes, behavior, and even the outcomes of our interactions. Understanding the power of first impressions is essential, whether in personal or professional settings. By being aware of the cues that shape these impressions, we can strive to make a positive impact when meeting new people and be mindful of the impressions we create. The halo effect and its impact. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their character. For instance, if someone is physically attractive, we might also perceive them as kind, intelligent, or competent. This phenomenon illustrates how our brains tend to generalize traits based on a single positive characteristic. Here's how the halo effect works and its impact. 1. Positive attribute influence. When we notice a positive trait in someone, such as physical attractiveness, we tend to extend that positivity to other unrelated qualities. For example, if we find someone attractive, we may automatically assume they are also friendly, smart, or trustworthy. 2. Unconscious bias. The halo effect operates at a subconscious level, often without our awareness. We may not consciously realize that we are making assumptions about someone based on a single characteristic. 3. Impact on perception. The halo effect can influence how we perceive and interpret others' actions and behaviors. For instance, if we have a positive overall impression of someone, we may overlook or rationalize negative behaviors, attributing them to external factors. 4. Influence on social interactions. People who benefit from the halo effect may receive preferential treatment in social interactions, job interviews, or other situations. They may be perceived more positively and given more opportunities based on their initial impression. 5. Appearance bias. Physical attractiveness is one of the most common factors that triggers the halo effect. Studies have shown that attractive individuals are often perceived as more likable, competent, and persuasive, regardless of their actual abilities. 6. Challenges of overcoming bias. The halo effect can lead to unfair judgments and missed opportunities for others who do not fit the stereotype of attractiveness or other positive traits. It can also make it challenging for individuals to break free from preconceived notions based on appearance. Understanding the halo effect is crucial because it reminds us to look beyond superficial impressions and consider people holistically. Being aware of this bias can help us make more objective assessments of others and avoid making unfair judgments based on appearance alone. Reading micro-expressions. Micro-expressions are brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal genuine emotions. By learning to read these fleeting signals, you can gain insights into what someone is truly feeling, even when they're trying to conceal it. Here's what you need to know about micro-expressions and how to interpret them. 1. Brief and involuntary. Micro-expressions occur spontaneously and last for just a fraction of a second, often occurring before a person can consciously control their facial expressions. These expressions can reveal genuine emotions that people may be trying to hide. 2. Types of micro-expressions. There are 7 universal micro-expressions recognized across cultures: happiness, sadness, surprise, fear, disgust, anger, and contempt. Each micro-expression corresponds to a specific emotion and can provide valuable insights into a person's true feelings. 3. Facial muscle contractions. Micro-expressions are caused by subtle contractions of facial muscles. They may involve movements such as eyebrow raises, lip corners pulling back, or nostril flaring, depending on the emotion being expressed. For signs of deception, micro-expressions are particularly useful for detecting deception. When someone is lying or trying to conceal their emotions, micro-expressions may leak out, betraying their true feelings despite their attempts to appear calm or neutral. 5. Training to recognize micro-expressions. While micro-expressions occur quickly, with practice, you can train yourself to recognize them. There are training programs and exercises available to help improve your ability to detect and interpret micro-expressions accurately. 6. Context is key. It's essential to consider the context when interpreting micro-expressions. A micro-expression of fear, for example, could indicate genuine fear or simply surprise, depending on the situation. 7. Use in various fields. The ability to read micro-expressions has applications in psychology, law enforcement, negotiations, and interpersonal relationships. It can help therapists understand their clients better, aid investigators in detecting deception, and improve communication skills. 8. Ethical considerations. While reading micro-expressions can be insightful, it's essential to use this skill ethically and responsibly. Jumping to conclusions based on micro-expressions alone can lead to misunderstandings or misinterpretations. By learning to recognize and interpret micro-expressions, you can gain a deeper understanding of people's true emotions and intentions, leading to more effective communication and interpersonal connections. Persuasion dissected and evolved. The principles of persuasion. Persuasion is an art that involves influencing others' attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. Understanding the underlying principles can help you become more persuasive in your daily interactions. Here are the key principles of persuasion that have been studied and identified by psychologists. 1. Reciprocity. The principle of reciprocity suggests that people feel obligated to return favors or concessions when they receive something first. By giving something to others, whether it's a gift, a favor, or helpful information, you can create a sense of indebtedness, making them more likely to comply with your requests in return. 2. Commitment and consistency. People have a strong desire to be consistent with their past actions, beliefs, and statements. Once someone commits to a small request or idea, they are more likely to agree to larger requests that are consistent with that commitment. Consistency is a powerful motivator for behavior. 3. Social proof. Social proof is the idea that people are more likely to adopt a behavior or belief if they see others doing the same. When people are uncertain about what to do, they look to others for guidance. Testimonials, reviews, and endorsements are examples of social proof that can influence decision-making. 4. Authority. People are more likely to comply with requests from those who are perceived as authority figures or experts in a particular domain. Authority can be conveyed through titles, credentials, expertise, or even clothing. People tend to trust and obey authority figures without questioning. 5. Liking. People are more easily persuaded by those they like or find attractive. Building rapport, finding common ground, and expressing genuine interest in others can increase likability and enhance persuasion. Similarity, compliments, and shared interests can foster liking. 6. Scarcity. The principle of scarcity suggests that people value things more when they are perceived as rare or in limited supply. Creating a sense of urgency or scarcity can motivate action by making people fear they might miss out on an opportunity. Understanding and applying these principles can make you more effective at persuading others in various situations, whether you're trying to sell a product, negotiate a deal, or influence someone's behavior. Cialdini's 6 Principles of Influence. Psychologist Robert Cialdini identified 6 principles of influence: reciprocity, commitment, social proof, authority, liking, and scarcity. These principles explain why people say yes and how to encourage compliance. 1. Reciprocity. The principle of reciprocity suggests that people feel obligated to repay others when they receive something first. By giving something to others, whether it's a favor, a gift, or valuable information, you can create a sense of indebtedness, increasing the likelihood that they will reciprocate. 2. Commitment and consistency. Once people commit to a choice or action, they strive to remain consistent with that commitment. Cialdini found that getting someone to make a small initial commitment can lead to larger commitments later on. Consistency is a powerful motivator for behavior. 3. Social proof. People are more likely to follow the actions of others when they are uncertain about what to do. Social proof suggests that we look to others for guidance in ambiguous situations. Testimonials, reviews, and endorsements provide social proof that can influence decision-making. 4. Authority. Authority figures or experts are more persuasive in influencing others' behavior. People tend to comply with requests from those perceived as knowledgeable or in positions of authority. Authority can be conveyed through titles, expertise, or credentials. 5. Liking. People are more easily persuaded by those they like or find attractive. Building rapport, finding common ground, and expressing genuine interest can increase likability and enhance persuasion. Similarity, compliments, and shared interests contribute to liking. 6. Scarcity. The principle of scarcity suggests that people value things more when they are perceived as rare or in limited supply. Creating a sense of urgency or scarcity can motivate action by making people fear they might miss out on an opportunity. Understanding and leveraging these principles can significantly increase your ability to influence others and encourage compliance in various situations, whether in sales, marketing, negotiations, or everyday interactions. Modern applications of persuasion techniques. Today, persuasion techniques are widely used in marketing, politics, and everyday life. From advertising campaigns to social media strategies, these methods are designed to sway opinions and drive actions. 1. Marketing and advertising. Persuasion techniques play a central role in marketing and advertising efforts. Marketers use principles like scarcity, limited time offers, social proof, customer testimonials, and authority, endorsements by celebrities or experts, to influence consumer behavior. Advertisements often appeal to emotions, using storytelling and imagery to create connections with the audience and encourage purchases. 2. Digital marketing and social media. In the digital age, persuasion techniques are prevalent in social media marketing, influencer collaborations, and online advertising. Social media platforms utilize algorithms to show targeted ads based on users' interests, behaviors, and demographics. Techniques like social proof, likes, shares, and comments, scarcity, limited stock notifications, and personalized recommendations are commonly used to persuade users to engage or make purchases. 3. Political campaigns. Persuasion techniques are fundamental in political campaigns to sway voters and garner support. Candidates use strategies such as framing, presenting issues in a certain light, social proof, highlighting endorsements or popular support, and authority, emphasizing leadership qualities, to influence public opinion and gain votes. Emotional appeals, fear tactics, and persuasive speeches are also common in political persuasion. For sales and negotiation. In sales and negotiation, understanding persuasion techniques is essential for closing deals and achieving desired outcomes. Sales professionals use techniques like reciprocity, offering free samples or trials, scarcity, limited stock or time-bound offers, and social proof, customer reviews and testimonials to persuade customers to buy products or services. 5. Personal relationships. Persuasion techniques are also used in personal relationships to influence opinions, gain cooperation, and resolve conflicts. People may use principles like reciprocity, doing favors to receive favors, liking, building rapport and connection, and commitment, making mutual agreements to persuade others in friendships, romantic relationships, and family dynamics. 6. Education and training. Persuasion techniques are employed in educational settings to engage students, encourage participation, and facilitate learning. Teachers may use techniques like storytelling, social proof, peer influence, and authority expertise to convey information effectively and motivate students to learn. Understanding how persuasion techniques are used in various contexts can help individuals become more discerning consumers, communicators, and decision-makers in today's highly persuasive environment. Discovering manipulation techniques. Common manipulation tactics. Manipulation involves controlling or influencing someone in a deceptive or unscrupulous way. Common tactics include playing on emotions, misrepresenting facts, and exploiting vulnerabilities. 1. Playing on emotions. Manipulators often exploit emotions such as fear, guilt, or sympathy to achieve their goals. They may use emotional manipulation to gain sympathy, manipulate decisions, or evoke specific responses from others. 2. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation where the manipulator denies, distorts, or twists facts to make the victim doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. This tactic is used to undermine the victim's confidence and control them. 3. Guilt tripping. Manipulators may use guilt as a tool to make others feel responsible for their actions or choices. They may exaggerate situations or blame others unfairly to evoke guilt and manipulate behavior. 4. Love bombing. Love bombing is a manipulation tactic where the manipulator overwhelms the victim with excessive attention, affection, or praise to gain control or create dependency. It often occurs in romantic relationships or cult-like groups. 5. Isolation. Manipulators may isolate their victims from friends, family, or support networks to gain control over them. By cutting off outside influences, the manipulator can increase dependence and control. 6. Manipulative language. Manipulators use language to distort reality, deceive, or coerce others. This may involve lying, withholding information, using flattery, or making promises they have no intention of keeping. 7. Shifting blame. Manipulators often deflect responsibility for their actions by blaming others or making excuses. They may twist situations to make themselves appear innocent or victimized while shifting blame onto others. 8. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation where the manipulator denies, distorts, or twists facts to make the victim doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. This tactic is used to undermine the victim's confidence and control them. 9. Threats and intimidation. Manipulators may use threats, intimidation, or coercion to control others. This can include overt threats of harm, as well as more subtle forms of intimidation to instill fear and compliance. 10. Exploiting vulnerabilities. Manipulators target vulnerabilities such as insecurities, fears, or past traumas to gain leverage over their victims. They may use this information to manipulate emotions or behavior. Recognizing these manipulation tactics is crucial for protecting oneself from being controlled or influenced in harmful ways. Being aware of manipulation techniques empowers individuals to set boundaries, assert themselves, and maintain healthy relationships. Emotional manipulation and gaslighting. Emotional manipulation can take many forms, such as guilt tripping, shaming, or gaslighting. Gaslighting, in particular, is a tactic where someone makes you question your reality, often leading to feelings of confusion and self-doubt. 1. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation involves using tactics to control or influence someone's emotions and behavior for personal gain. Some common forms of emotional manipulation include guilt tripping. Manipulators use guilt as a tool to make others feel responsible for their actions or choices. They may say things like, "If you loved me, you would do this for me," to evoke feelings of guilt and manipulate behavior. Shaming. Shaming involves attacking someone's self-esteem or worth to manipulate their behavior. Manipulators may use insults, criticism, or ridicule to shame others into compliance. Playing the victim. Manipulators may portray themselves as victims to gain sympathy or to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. They may exaggerate situations or blame others unfairly to manipulate emotions. Love bombing. Love bombing is an intense form of affection and attention used to manipulate someone into dependency or compliance. The manipulator showers the victim with praise, affection, and promises to gain control. 2. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic where the perpetrator denies, distorts, or twists facts to make the victim doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. Some characteristics of gaslighting include denying reality. Gaslighters deny events, conversations, or promises that have taken place, making the victim question their own memory. Twisting the truth. Gaslighters may distort facts or reinterpret events to make themselves appear innocent or to shift blame onto the victim. Minimizing feelings. Gaslighters may dismiss the victim's feelings or emotions, making them feel irrational or overly sensitive. Undermining confidence. Gaslighters aim to undermine the victim's confidence and sense of reality, leaving them feeling confused, anxious, and doubting their own perceptions. Recognizing emotional manipulation and gaslighting is essential for maintaining emotional well-being and healthy relationships. It's important to trust your instincts, set boundaries, and seek support if you suspect you're being manipulated or gaslighted. Dark triad traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. The dark triad refers to 3 personality traits associated with manipulation: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Individuals with these traits are often charming and manipulative, using deceit and exploitation to achieve their goals. 1. Narcissism. Narcissism is characterized by an excessive sense of self-importance, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. Individuals high in narcissism often have an inflated sense of their own abilities and achievements. They seek constant attention, validation, and admiration from others, and may exploit or manipulate others to fulfill their own desires. 2. Machiavellianism. Machiavellianism is characterized by cunning, manipulation, and a focus on self-interest above all else. Individuals high in Machiavellianism are strategic and manipulative in their interactions, using deception and exploitation to achieve their goals. They are often skilled at influencing others and may use charm and persuasion to advance their own agendas. 3. Psychopathy. Psychopathy is characterized by a lack of empathy, remorse, and conscience. Individuals high in psychopathy are often charming and charismatic on the surface, but lack empathy and genuine emotional connections with others. They may engage in manipulative and antisocial behavior without guilt or remorse, viewing others as mere tools to be used for their own benefit. These traits often co-occur and can have significant negative impacts on interpersonal relationships, work environments, and society as a whole. Individuals with dark triad traits may exploit others for personal gain, engage in unethical or antisocial behavior, and cause harm to those around them. It's important to recognize these traits to protect oneself from manipulation and exploitation. Building awareness of these traits can help individuals identify red flags in relationships and interactions and establish healthy boundaries. Additionally, understanding the dark triad can aid in recognizing manipulative behavior in others and avoiding potential harm. Reading body language. Basics of body language interpretation. Body language is a powerful form of nonverbal communication. From gestures and posture to facial expressions and eye contact, understanding these cues can reveal much about a person's true feelings and intentions. 1. Gestures. Gestures include movements of the hands, arms, and body that convey meaning or emotions. For example, crossing arms may indicate defensiveness or discomfort, while open palms suggest openness and honesty. 2. Posture. Posture can convey confidence, insecurity, or power dynamics. Standing or sitting up straight typically indicates confidence and attentiveness, while slouching may indicate boredom or lack of interest. 3. Facial expressions. Facial expressions are a crucial aspect of body language. Smiles, frowns, raised eyebrows, and narrowed eyes all communicate different emotions. Genuine smiles usually involve the eyes, while fake smiles may only involve the mouth. 4. Eye contact. Eye contact is a powerful indicator of engagement and sincerity. Maintaining eye contact shows interest and confidence, while avoiding eye contact can signal discomfort, dishonesty, or submission. 5. Touching behavior. Touching behavior can convey intimacy, aggression, or comfort. Light touches can signal affection or rapport, while aggressive touching or invading personal space can indicate dominance or discomfort. 6. Proximity. The distance between individuals can communicate levels of intimacy or comfort. Standing too close may feel invasive, while standing too far may indicate disinterest or discomfort. 7. Mirroring. Mirroring occurs when individuals subconsciously mimic each other's body language, indicating rapport and connection. Mirroring gestures, posture, or expressions can signal mutual understanding and agreement. 8. Micro-expressions. Micro-expressions are brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal genuine emotions. Paying attention to micro-expressions can provide insights into someone's true feelings, even when they're trying to conceal them. 9. Hand and arm movements. Hand and arm movements can emphasize points, show enthusiasm, or indicate nervousness. For example, tapping fingers may indicate impatience or anxiety, while expansive gestures can convey confidence. 10. Leg and feet position. The position of legs and feet can reveal underlying feelings. Crossed legs may indicate defensiveness or reservation, while pointing feet toward someone indicates interest or engagement. Understanding and interpreting body language cues can improve communication, enhance relationships, and help navigate social interactions more effectively. Paying attention to both verbal and nonverbal signals can provide a more comprehensive understanding of what someone is communicating. Recognizing deceptive behaviors. Certain behaviors can indicate deceit, such as avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, or inconsistencies between verbal and nonverbal communication. Learning to recognize these signs can help you detect when someone is lying. 1. Avoiding eye contact. People who are lying may avoid making direct eye contact or may look away frequently. They may feel uncomfortable facing scrutiny and may try to avoid eye contact to lessen their anxiety. 2. Fidgeting and restlessness. Liars often exhibit nervous behaviors such as fidgeting, tapping fingers, or shifting in their seat. These movements can indicate discomfort or anxiety associated with being deceptive. 3. Inconsistencies in verbal and nonverbal communication. When someone is lying, there may be discrepancies between what they say and their body language. For example, they may nod in agreement while verbally denying something, or their facial expressions may not match the tone of their words. 4. Micro-expressions of discomfort. Micro-expressions, fleeting facial expressions that reveal genuine emotions, may betray a liar's true feelings. Look for expressions of fear, contempt, or discomfort that flash across their face before they regain control. 5. Speech patterns. Liars may hesitate more often, use more fillers like and or speak in a higher pitch than usual. They may also speak less fluently or provide vague answers to avoid giving away too much detail. 6. Sudden changes in behavior, abrupt changes in behavior, such as becoming overly defensive or aggressive, can be a sign that someone is lying. They may react strongly to questioning or become unusually quiet. 7. Excessive detail or lack thereof. Liars may provide excessive detail in an attempt to convince others of their story. On the other hand, they may also avoid giving specific details to prevent inconsistencies. 8. Avoiding touchy subjects. When questioned about sensitive topics or areas where they are being deceitful, liars may try to change the subject, become evasive, or display discomfort. 9. Increased perspiration. Liars may experience physiological changes such as sweating or flushed cheeks due to increased stress and anxiety associated with deception. 10. Overemphasis on convincing. People who are lying may overemphasize their honesty or repeatedly insist on their innocence to convince others, often using phrases like "I swear" or "to be honest." Recognizing these deceptive behaviors can help you become more adept at detecting when someone is being dishonest. However, it's essential to consider context and gather additional evidence before drawing conclusions about someone's honesty. Power poses and confidence cues. Power poses, like standing with your hands on your hips, can boost confidence and influence how others perceive you. Confidence cues, such as maintaining good posture and making direct eye contact, can enhance your presence and authority. 1. Power poses. Power poses are expansive body postures that convey confidence and authority. Some common power poses include hands on hips. Standing with your hands on your hips, chest open, and feet shoulder-width apart can convey confidence and assertiveness. Wide stance. Taking up space by standing with your legs apart and shoulders back can signal dominance and power. Arms raised victory pose. Raising your arms in a V shape above your head, like a victory pose, can increase feelings of power and confidence. 2. Confidence cues. Good posture. Maintaining good posture, such as standing tall with shoulders back and spine straight, projects confidence and poise. Slouching or slumping can convey insecurity or lack of confidence. Direct eye contact. Making direct eye contact with others shows confidence and sincerity. It demonstrates that you are engaged and attentive. Firm handshake. A firm handshake communicates confidence and strength. It's important to strike the right balance, not too weak and not too aggressive. Smiling. A genuine smile can convey warmth, openness, and confidence. Smiling also helps put others at ease and builds rapport. Speaking clearly and assertively. Speaking clearly and with conviction enhances your presence and authority. Avoiding mumbling or speaking too softly helps convey confidence in your message. Taking up space. Confident individuals tend to take up more physical space. Avoiding overly submissive body language, such as crossing arms tightly or hunching over, can project confidence. Active listening. Engaging in active listening, such as nodding and maintaining eye contact while others speak, shows confidence and respect for others' opinions. Using power poses and confidence cues can not only boost your own confidence but also influence how others perceive you. These nonverbal signals can convey strength, authority, and credibility in various personal and professional situations. Psychological tricks for analyzing people. Using behavioral cues. Behavioral cues, such as speech patterns, habits, and reactions, can provide valuable insights into someone's personality and state of mind. Observing these cues can help you better understand and predict their behavior. 1. Speech patterns. Pace and tone. The speed and tone of someone's speech can reveal emotions and confidence levels. Rapid speech may indicate excitement or nervousness, while slow speech may indicate thoughtfulness or caution. Word choice. The words people use can reflect their values, interests, and emotions. Pay attention to specific vocabulary and expressions they use, which can provide clues about their personality and mindset. Language patterns. Certain language patterns, such as frequent use of first-person pronouns, I, me, my, or negative language, can indicate self-focus or pessimism. 2. Habits and behaviors. Body language. Non-verbal cues like posture, gestures, and facial expressions can reveal emotions and intentions. Crossed arms may indicate defensiveness, while leaning forward may indicate interest. Grooming habits. How someone presents themselves can provide insights into their attention to detail, self-esteem, and personality. Pay attention to grooming habits like clothing choices, hairstyle, and personal hygiene. Hobbies and interests. People's interests and hobbies can reflect their values, passions, and personality traits. Asking about hobbies can help you understand someone's priorities and motivations. 3. Reactions and responses. Emotional responses. Observe how someone reacts emotionally to different situations. Do they express joy, anger, sadness, or fear? How do they handle stress or disappointment? Conflict resolution. Pay attention to how someone handles conflicts or disagreements. Do they become defensive and aggressive, or do they remain calm and seek resolution? Social interactions. Watch how someone interacts with others in social settings. Are they outgoing and sociable, or do they prefer to observe from the sidelines? For consistency and inconsistencies. Consistency. Look for patterns in behavior over time. Consistent behavior across different situations can indicate genuine personality traits. Inconsistencies. Be wary of inconsistencies between someone's words and actions. Incongruences may signal deception or hidden motives. 5. Intuition and gut feeling. Trust your intuition and gut feeling when analyzing people. Sometimes, your subconscious mind picks up on subtle cues that your conscious mind may miss. By observing behavioral cues and patterns, you can gain valuable insights into someone's personality, emotions, and motivations. However, it's essential to be empathetic, respectful, and mindful of privacy boundaries while analyzing others. The importance of context. Context is crucial when analyzing behavior. The same action can have different meanings depending on the situation and the individual's background. Always consider the broader context to avoid misinterpretation. 1. Environmental factors. Location, where the behavior occurs, can influence its meaning. For example, someone being quiet in a library is expected behavior, but the same quietness in a social gathering may indicate discomfort. Social setting. Social norms and expectations vary depending on the setting. What is acceptable behavior in one social group may not be in another. 2. Personal background. Cultural differences. Cultural background can heavily influence behavior and communication styles. Gestures, expressions, and norms may vary widely across cultures. Individual differences. Each person has their own unique background, experiences, and personality traits that shape their behavior. What is normal for one person may be unusual for another. 3. Emotional state. Mood and emotions. A person's mood and emotional state can greatly impact their behavior. For example, someone who is stressed may exhibit different behaviors than when they are relaxed. 4. Past experiences. Trauma or past events. Past experiences, especially traumatic ones, can influence how someone behaves in certain situations. For example, someone with a fear of dogs may react differently when encountering a dog compared to someone who loves them. 5. Social dynamics. Relationships. The nature of the relationship between individuals can affect behavior. A gesture from a friend may be interpreted differently than the same gesture from a stranger. Power dynamics. Hierarchical relationships or power imbalances can influence behavior. Someone may act differently when interacting with a superior versus a subordinate. 6. Intentions and motivations. Purpose. Understanding the intention behind the behavior is crucial. The same action can have different meanings based on someone's intentions. Motivations. People's motivations for their actions may not always be apparent. Consider what someone stands to gain or achieve from their behavior. 7. Communication style. Verbal and nonverbal communication. Both verbal and nonverbal cues should be considered together to understand the full context of communication. Someone's tone of voice may change the meaning of their words. Considering the broader context allows for a more accurate interpretation of behavior and reduces the risk of misunderstanding or misjudgment. It's important to approach behavioral analysis with empathy, openness, and a willingness to understand others' perspectives. Profiling personalities. Personality profiling involves categorizing individuals based on their traits and behaviors. Tools like the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, and the Big Five personality traits can help you identify and understand different personality types. 1. Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator is a popular personality assessment tool based on Carl Jung's theory of psychological types. It categorizes individuals into one of 16 personality types based on 4 dichotomies. Extroversion, E, versus introversion, I, sensing, S, versus intuition, N, thinking, T, versus feeling, F, judging, J, versus perceiving, P. These combinations result in personality types such as ISTJ, introverted, sensing, thinking, judging, or ENFP, extrovert, intuitive, feeling, perceiving. Point 2. Big Five personality traits. The Big Five personality traits, also known as the Ocean Model, are 5 broad dimensions used to describe human personality. They include: openness to experience, reflects curiosity, creativity, and willingness to try new things. Conscientiousness, measures organization, responsibility, and self-discipline. Extroversion, indicates sociability, assertiveness, and energy levels in social situations. Agreeableness, reflects kindness, empathy, and cooperation. Neuroticism, emotional stability, measures emotional stability, anxiety, and susceptibility to stress. 3. Other personality typologies. DISC assessment. This assessment categorizes individuals into 4 main personality types: dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness, each representing different behavioral styles. Enneagram. The Enneagram categorizes individuals into 9 interconnected personality types, each with its motivations, fears, and characteristics. Dark Triad. The Dark Triad consists of 3 personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, associated with manipulation, self-interest, and lack of empathy. 4. Applications of personality profiling. Personal development. Personality profiling can help individuals understand their strengths, weaknesses, and preferences, leading to personal growth and self-awareness. Team building. In professional settings, understanding team members' personalities can improve communication, collaboration, and productivity. Recruitment and hiring. Employers may use personality assessments to identify candidates who are a good fit for specific roles and company culture. Conflict resolution. Understanding personality differences can help resolve conflicts and improve relationships by promoting empathy and understanding. Personality profiling provides valuable insights into human behavior, preferences, and tendencies. While these tools can be helpful, it's essential to remember that individuals are complex, and personality is just one aspect of who they are. Persuasion techniques in depth. Reciprocity and commitment. The principle of reciprocity suggests that people feel obliged to return favors. Commitment involves getting someone to agree to a small request first, making them more likely to comply with a larger request later. 1. Reciprocity. Reciprocity is a powerful social norm that suggests that when someone does something for us, we feel obligated to return the favor. This principle is deeply ingrained in human behavior and can be leveraged in various situations. Examples of reciprocity: offering free samples, providing small gifts, or doing favors for others can trigger a sense of indebtedness, making them more likely to reciprocate. Applications: in marketing, offering free trials, samples, or valuable content can create a sense of obligation in customers to make a purchase or engage further with the brand. 2. Commitment. Commitment involves getting someone to agree to a small request or take a small action, which increases the likelihood of them agreeing to a larger request later. This technique works based on the principle of consistency, foot in the door technique. This technique involves starting with a small request that the person is likely to agree to, then following up with a larger request. Once someone commits to the initial small request, they are more likely to agree to a larger one to maintain consistency. Examples of commitment: asking someone to sign a petition before asking for a donation, or getting them to agree to a brief survey before asking for their time for a longer interview. Applications: in sales, getting a customer to say yes to a series of small questions or actions can lead to them being more receptive to making a purchase. 3. Combining reciprocity and commitment. Sequential requests: first, offer something of value, reciprocity, to trigger the sense of obligation. Then, follow up with a larger request, commitment, once the person feels indebted. Example: giving away a free e-book in exchange for an email sign-up, reciprocity, then later asking for a purchase, commitment. For the ethical considerations: while reciprocity and commitment can be powerful persuasion techniques, it's important to use them ethically and responsibly. Avoid manipulation or coercion and ensure that the requests align with the person's interests and values. Understanding and leveraging reciprocity and commitment can be effective in influencing behavior and increasing compliance, but it's essential to use these techniques responsibly and with integrity. Social proof and authority. Social proof. Social proof is the idea that people tend to follow the actions of others, especially in uncertain situations. It is based on the assumption that if others are doing something, it must be the correct behavior. Here's more detail. Principle of social proof: when people are unsure about what to do, they often look to others for guidance. If they see others engaging in a particular behavior, they are more likely to follow suit. Examples of social proof: testimonials, customer reviews, user ratings, and popularity indicators, such as bestseller labels, are forms of social proof commonly used in marketing. Applications: businesses often showcase customer testimonials, ratings, or endorsements to persuade potential customers. Influencers and celebrities are also used to endorse products or services, leveraging their social proof to influence others. Authority. Authority involves using titles, uniforms, or other symbols of power to enhance credibility and influence. People tend to comply with authority figures, believing they possess expertise or knowledge. Here's how it works. Principle of authority: individuals are more likely to obey orders or suggestions from someone they perceive as an authority figure. Examples of authority: doctors, professors, police officers, and experts in a particular field are examples of authority figures. Symbols of authority like uniforms, badges, or official titles also enhance credibility. Applications: in marketing, endorsements from experts or celebrities are used to increase credibility. In professional settings, titles and uniforms convey authority and influence. Combining social proof and authority: expert endorsements. Using endorsements from authoritative figures or experts can enhance social proof and authority simultaneously. Customer testimonials from authority figures, testimonials from respected individuals or professionals can serve as both social proof and authority ethical considerations. While social proof and authority can be powerful persuasion tools, It's essential to use them ethically and responsibly. Avoid misleading or deceptive practices that exploit people's trust or manipulate their behavior. Understanding social proof and authority can help marketers, leaders, and influencers effectively persuade and influence others while maintaining trust and credibility. Liking and scarcity. Liking. Liking refers to the tendency of people to be influenced by those they like or find attractive. When we feel a connection or affinity towards someone, we are more likely to comply with their requests. Here's how liking works. Principle of liking. People are more likely to say yes to individuals they know, like, and trust. Factors that influence liking: similarity, compliments, cooperation, and physical attractiveness are factors that can enhance liking. Applications. Salespeople often build rapport with customers by finding common ground or offering compliments. Influencers leverage their likability to promote products or ideas. Scarcity. Scarcity involves creating a sense of urgency by suggesting that something is in limited supply or available for a limited time. This scarcity makes the item or opportunity more desirable. Here's how it works. Principle of scarcity. People tend to desire things more when they perceive them as scarce or in high demand. Creating scarcity, limiting the quantity available, offering limited time promotions, or highlighting exclusivity can create a sense of scarcity. Applications. Limited time offer, only X items left, or offer ends soon are common scarcity tactics used in marketing to encourage immediate action. Combining liking and scarcity. Building relationships. Establishing a likable persona can make scarcity messages more persuasive. People are more likely to respond to scarcity appeals from someone they like. Creating exclusive offers, offering exclusive deals or benefits to a select group of people enhances both liking, feeling special, and scarcity. Limited availability. Ethical considerations. While liking and scarcity can be effective persuasion tactics, it's important to use them ethically and transparently. Avoid manipulative tactics or false scarcity claims that can damage trust and credibility. Understanding the principles of liking and scarcity can help marketers and influencers create more persuasive messages and encourage desired actions from their audience. Manipulation in everyday life. Manipulation is prevalent in various aspects of everyday life, including advertising, relationships, and social interactions. Here, we'll focus on manipulative advertising tactics commonly used to influence consumer behavior. Manipulative advertising tactics. Advertisers often employ psychological tricks to manipulate consumer behavior and persuade them to buy products or services. Here are some common tactics. 1. Creating a sense of urgency. Advertisers use phrases like limited time offer, act now, or sale ends soon to create a sense of urgency, encouraging consumers to make quick decisions to avoid missing out. 2. Celebrity endorsements. Associating products with well-known celebrities or influencers can influence consumer perceptions. People may be more inclined to trust and purchase products endorsed by their favorite personalities. 3. Appealing to emotions. Advertisements often evoke emotions like fear, happiness, desire, or nostalgia to create a connection with consumers. Emotional ads can be highly persuasive and memorable. 4. Scarcity tactics. Highlighting limited availability or exclusive offers can make products seem more desirable. Phrases like only 5 left in stock or limited edition trigger the fear of missing out, FOMO. 5. Social proof. Showing testimonials, reviews, or user ratings provides social proof that others have enjoyed the product, influencing potential buyers to follow suit. 6. Manipulative imagery. Advertisements often use images that evoke specific emotions or desires, even if they are not directly related to the product. For example, using images of luxury lifestyles to sell products. 7. False sense of need. Advertisers may create a false sense of need or inadequacy to convince consumers that they require a particular product to solve a problem or improve their lives. 8. Subliminal messaging, hidden messages or symbols in advertisements can subtly influence consumer behavior without their conscious awareness. Ethical considerations. While advertising is a legitimate business practice, manipulative tactics that exploit vulnerabilities or deceive consumers raise ethical concerns. Transparency and honesty in advertising are crucial for maintaining trust and credibility with consumers. By understanding these manipulative advertising tactics, consumers can become more aware of how advertisers influence their decisions and make more informed choices. Political manipulation. Politicians and campaigners often employ various strategies to influence public opinion, shape narratives, and gain support for their agendas. Here are some common tactics used in political manipulation. Spreading misinformation. Politicians may spread misinformation or false claims to sway public opinion or discredit opponents. This can include spreading rumors, twisting facts, or outright lying to manipulate perceptions. Appealing to emotions. Emotional appeals are powerful tools in politics. Politicians often use fear, anger, hope, or empathy to connect with voters and influence their decisions. Emotional messaging can evoke strong reactions and shape public sentiment. Exploiting social and cultural divisions. Politicians may exploit social or cultural divisions within society to rally support from specific groups. They may use divisive rhetoric or identity politics to polarize opinions and create an us versus them mentality. Demonizing opponents. Politicians often portray opponents in a negative light, using character attacks, mudslinging, or portraying them as threats to society. This tactic aims to undermine the credibility and reputation of opponents. Dog whistle politics. Dog whistle politics involves using coded language or symbols to convey messages that resonate with specific groups while appearing innocuous to others. It allows politicians to communicate divisive ideas without overtly stating them. Creating scapegoats. Politicians may scapegoat certain groups or individuals to divert attention from real issues or to blame them for societal problems. This tactic can fuel prejudice and xenophobia. Manipulating media and information. Politicians may try to control or manipulate media narratives by limiting press access, spreading propaganda, or using social media to disseminate biased information. Polarization and tribalism. Politicians may encourage polarization and tribalism to solidify support among their base. They may reinforce us versus them narratives to create loyalty and allegiance. Gaslighting and denial. Some politicians engage in gaslighting by denying facts, questioning reality, or downplaying serious issues. This tactic aims to confuse or discredit critics and maintain control over the narrative. Ethical considerations. Political manipulation tactics raise ethical concerns as they can undermine democratic processes, erode trust in institutions, and divide societies. Transparency, honesty, and integrity in political communication are essential for a healthy democratic system. By being aware of these political manipulation tactics, voters can critically evaluate information, question narratives, and make more informed decisions during elections and political discourse. Manipulation in personal relationships. Manipulation can occur in personal relationships, where individuals may use various tactics to control or influence their partners. Here are some common manipulative tactics seen in personal relationships. Guilt tripping. Guilt tripping involves making someone feel guilty or responsible for something they didn't do or shouldn't feel guilty about. Manipulators use phrases like "if you loved me, you would," or "I sacrifice so much for you," to manipulate their partner's emotions. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation where the manipulator makes their partner doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. They may deny facts, invalidate feelings, or distort reality to make their partner question their own judgment. Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail involves using threats, manipulation, or emotional manipulation to control someone. This can include threatening to leave, self-harm, or withholding affection unless their demands are met. Silent treatment. Giving the silent treatment is a manipulative tactic where one partner ignores the other as a form of punishment or control. It can leave the other person feeling anxious, guilty, or desperate for reconciliation. Manipulative charm. Some individuals use charm, flattery, or charisma to manipulate their partners into doing what they want. They may use compliments or affection to mask their true intentions and gain compliance. Playing the victim. Manipulators often portray themselves as victims to garner sympathy and manipulate their partners into giving them what they want. They may exaggerate or fabricate situations to paint themselves as the victim. Isolation. Manipulative individuals may try to isolate their partners from friends, family, or support networks to increase their control over them. They may sow seeds of doubt or create conflicts to drive a wedge between their partner and others. Threats and ultimatums. Using threats or ultimatums to get their way is another manipulative tactic. This can include threats of leaving, ending the relationship, or other consequences unless their partner complies. Love bombing. Love bombing involves showering someone with affection, attention, and gifts in the initial stages of a relationship to gain their trust and affection quickly. Once the person is hooked, the manipulator may start to control them more easily. Financial manipulation. Manipulators may control finances or use money as a tool for manipulation, such as controlling access to funds, limiting financial independence, or using money to exert power. Ethical considerations. Manipulative behavior in relationships is harmful and can lead to emotional abuse, low self-esteem, and relationship breakdown. Healthy relationships are based on mutual respect, trust, and communication, not manipulation and control. Recognizing manipulative behavior is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. It's crucial to set boundaries, communicate openly, and seek support if you feel manipulated or controlled in a relationship. Defending against manipulation. Manipulation can be harmful, but there are ways to defend yourself against it. Building emotional intelligence is one effective method to recognize and resist manipulation attempts. Building emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence involves recognizing and managing your emotions effectively, as well as understanding the emotions of others. Developing this skill can help you identify and defend against manipulation in personal and professional relationships. Here's how. 1. Self-awareness. Recognize your emotions, pay attention to your feelings, and understand what triggers them. Knowing how you feel allows you to respond consciously rather than react impulsively to manipulation attempts. Identify manipulative tactics. Be aware of common manipulation tactics such as guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or emotional blackmail. Knowing these tactics can help you recognize when they are being used against you. 2. Self-regulation. Manage your emotions. Practice techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or taking a step back when you feel overwhelmed by emotions. This helps you stay calm and rational in the face of manipulation. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries in your relationships and stick to them. Learn to say no when something doesn't feel right, and don't allow others to pressure you into compliance. 3. Empathy. Understand others' perspectives. Developing empathy allows you to understand where others are coming from and recognize when they might be trying to manipulate you. It also helps you build healthier relationships based on mutual respect. Listen actively. Pay attention to both verbal and non-verbal cues when interacting with others. Understanding their emotions and intentions can help you respond appropriately. 4. Social skills. Assertiveness. Learn to assert yourself respectfully and express your needs and opinions clearly. Being assertive makes it harder for manipulators to take advantage of you. Effective communication. Practice clear and honest communication in your relationships. Encourage open dialogue and address issues directly to prevent misunderstandings and manipulation. 5. Critical thinking. Question information. Don't take everything at face value. Use critical thinking skills to evaluate information, especially when it comes from sources that may have ulterior motives. Evaluate intentions. Consider why someone is trying to influence you and whether their intentions align with your best interests. Point 6. Seek support. Talk to trusted individuals, confide in friends, family members, or a therapist if you feel you're being manipulated. Getting an outside perspective can help validate your feelings and provide support. By building emotional intelligence, you become better equipped to recognize manipulation tactics, assert boundaries, and protect yourself in various relationships and situations. It empowers you to maintain healthier, more fulfilling connections based on mutual respect and trust, recognizing and resisting manipulative tactics. Being aware of common manipulation tactics is the first step in resisting them. Practice setting boundaries, questioning motives, and seeking external perspectives to protect yourself from manipulation. 1. Awareness of manipulative tactics. Educate yourself. Learn about common manipulation tactics such as guilt tripping, gaslighting, love bombing, and silent treatment. Awareness is key to recognizing when manipulation is occurring. 2. Setting boundaries. Know your limits, define your boundaries, and make them clear to others. Don't be afraid to say no or assert yourself when someone crosses those boundaries. Stick to your boundaries, consistently enforce your boundaries, and don't allow them to be manipulated or ignored by others. Point 3. Questioning motives. Ask why. When someone makes a request or tries to influence you, ask yourself why they might be doing so. Question their intentions and whether it aligns with your best interests. Evaluate consistently, continuously assess whether someone's actions or words are genuine or if they are attempting to manipulate you for their benefit. Point 4. Seeking external perspectives. Talk to trusted individuals. If you're unsure whether you're being manipulated, discuss your concerns with friends, family, or a therapist. They can provide an objective viewpoint. Get feedback, share your experiences with others, and ask for their feedback. Sometimes, an outside perspective can reveal manipulative tactics you may not have noticed. 5. Trust your instincts. Listen to your gut. If something feels off or doesn't sit right with you, trust your instincts. Your intuition can often sense when manipulation is at play. Don't ignore red flags. Pay attention to warning signs such as feeling anxious, guilty, or pressured during interactions with others. Point 6. Practice assertiveness. Express yourself clearly. Practice assertive communication by expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and respectfully. Learn to say no. Don't be afraid to say no when something doesn't feel right, even if it may upset the other person. Point 7. Stay informed and educated. Stay updated. Be aware of current events, trends, and potential manipulative tactics used in different situations, whether in personal relationships, at work, or in the media. Critical thinking. Question information and messages presented to you. Evaluate sources critically and don't accept things blindly. By recognizing manipulation tactics and actively resisting them, you can protect yourself from being exploited or controlled by others. Trusting yourself, setting boundaries, and seeking support when needed are essential steps in maintaining healthy relationships and personal well-being. Strengthening personal boundaries. Healthy boundaries are essential for protecting yourself from manipulation and maintaining healthy relationships. Learning to assert your needs is key to establishing and maintaining strong personal boundaries. 1. Know your values and limits. Identify your values. Determine what is important to you and what you will and will not tolerate in relationships and interactions. Recognize your limits. Understand your emotional, physical, and mental limits, and be clear about what you're comfortable with and what crosses the line. Point 2. Communicate clearly. Be direct. Clearly communicate your boundaries to others. Use assertive language to express your needs and limits without being aggressive or passive. Use I statements. Instead of blaming or accusing, use I statements to express how you feel and what you need. For example, I feel uncomfortable when, or I need. Practice active listening. Listen actively to others' boundaries and respect them as you expect them to respect yours. Point 3. Set boundaries firmly. Be firm and consistent. Once you've set your boundaries, stick to them consistently. Don't waver or compromise your boundaries to please others. Don't feel guilty. It's okay to assert your boundaries, even if it disappoints or upsets others. Your well-being is important. Point 4. Recognize manipulative behavior. Be aware of red flags. Learn to recognize signs of manipulation, such as pressure tactics, guilt tripping, or disregarding your feelings and needs. Trust your instincts. If something feels manipulative or uncomfortable, trust your instincts and take action to protect yourself. Point 5. Practice self-care. Prioritize yourself. Take care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Set aside time for self-care activities that recharge and rejuvenate you. Say no when needed. Don't overcommit or agree to things that go against your boundaries. It's okay to say no when you need to. Point 6. Seek support. Talk to trusted individuals. If you're struggling to assert your boundaries, talk to friends, family, or a therapist for support and guidance. Join support groups. Consider joining support groups or communities where you can learn from others' experiences and receive encouragement. Point 7. Practice assertiveness. Stand your ground. Assertiveness is about standing up for yourself while respecting others. Practice assertive communication to express your needs and boundaries confidently. Practice role-playing. Role-play different scenarios where you need to assert your boundaries to build confidence in doing so. Remember, healthy boundaries are about respecting yourself and others. By asserting your needs and limits, you cultivate healthier relationships and protect yourself from manipulation and harm. Advanced body language reading. Understanding body language goes beyond basic cues. Here are some advanced techniques for interpreting nonverbal signals, spotting lies and deceit. Micro-expressions. Micro-expressions are fleeting facial expressions that last only a fraction of a second. These involuntary displays often reveal a person's true feelings, despite what they may be saying. For instance, a quick flash of anger or fear might appear before someone regains their composure. By paying close attention to these brief signals, we can gain insight into whether someone is being truthful or attempting to deceive. Inconsistent gestures. When gestures and spoken words do not align, it could indicate deception. For example, if someone says they are confident but their body language shows closed-off gestures, such as crossed arms or avoiding eye contact, there is a mismatch. This incongruence between verbal and nonverbal cues can be a strong indicator that something is amiss. Voice changes. Changes in tone, pitch, or speed of speech can also signal discomfort or dishonesty. A person who suddenly starts speaking more quickly or with a higher pitch may be experiencing stress or trying to hide something. Conversely, a slow, deliberate speech pattern might suggest they are carefully choosing their words to avoid revealing the truth. Identifying stress signals. Body tension. Body tension is a clear indicator of stress. Signs include clenched fists, rigid posture, or tight facial muscles. These physical manifestations of tension can help us identify when someone is feeling uncomfortable or under pressure. Increased fidgeting. Stress often leads to increased fidgeting. This can take the form of tapping fingers, shifting weight from one foot to the other, or playing with objects like pens or jewelry. Such behaviors are subconscious attempts to alleviate nervous energy. Sweating or blushing. Physical signs such as sweating, blushing, or trembling can indicate nervousness or anxiety. These involuntary reactions are difficult to control and can provide valuable clues about a person's emotional state. The role of eye contact. Confidence versus deceit. Direct eye contact is commonly associated with confidence and honesty. When someone looks us in the eye, we are more likely to trust them. Conversely, avoiding eye contact or frequently looking away can suggest discomfort or deceit. However, it is important to consider cultural differences when interpreting eye contact. Cultural differences. Eye contact norms vary significantly across cultures. In some societies, prolonged eye contact is seen as a sign of respect and attentiveness. In others, it may be considered rude or confrontational. Being aware of these differences can help us avoid misinterpretations. Intensity of eye contact. The intensity of eye contact can convey different messages. An intense gaze might indicate focus, interest, or dominance, while fleeting glances may suggest nervousness, submission, or disinterest. Understanding the context and nuances of eye contact can enhance our ability to read nonverbal cues accurately. Advanced techniques for reading body language. Cluster behaviors. Relying on individual signals can be misleading. Instead, we should look for clusters of behaviors that together paint a more accurate picture of a person's true feelings. For example, a combination of avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, and sweating is a stronger indicator of stress than any one of these signals alone. Contextual analysis. Context is crucial when interpreting body language. The same gesture can have different meanings depending on the situation. For instance, crossed arms might indicate defensiveness in a heated argument but could simply mean someone is cold or comfortable in another setting. Baseline behavior. Establishing a person's baseline behavior is essential for accurate body language reading. This involves observing how they typically act in relaxed situations. Any deviations from this norm can then be more reliably attributed to changes in their emotional state. Mirroring. Mirroring is when one person subconsciously imitates the gestures, posture, or speech patterns of another. This often indicates rapport and mutual understanding. Conversely, a lack of mirroring might suggest disinterest or discomfort. Proxemics. Proxemics refers to the study of personal space and how people use it. Understanding these spatial relationships can provide insight into social dynamics. For example, someone who stands too close might be perceived as aggressive, while someone who keeps a greater distance may be seen as disengaged. Paralanguage. Paralanguage includes all the vocal cues that accompany speech, such as tone, pitch, volume, and intonation. These elements can greatly influence the meaning of spoken words. A friendly statement can seem sarcastic with the wrong tone, while a simple question can sound accusatory with a rising pitch. Applying advanced body language reading. In professional settings. In the workplace, advanced body language reading can improve communication, build stronger relationships, and enhance leadership abilities. By understanding nonverbal cues, we can better gauge the feelings and intentions of colleagues, clients, and superiors, leading to more effective interactions and decision-making. In personal relationships. Interpreting body language accurately can deepen our personal relationships. It allows us to empathize with others, respond appropriately to their emotional states, and resolve conflicts more effectively. Recognizing subtle cues can help us understand our loved ones better and foster greater intimacy. In negotiations. Successful negotiations often hinge on understanding the other party's true intentions and emotions. Advanced body language reading skills can provide a competitive edge by revealing when someone is bluffing, stressed, or genuinely committed to an agreement. This insight enables us to tailor our approach for optimal outcomes. In law enforcement and security. For law enforcement and security professionals, the ability to read body language can be critical. It helps in assessing potential threats, detecting deceit, and understanding the emotional states of individuals in high-stress situations. This skill can enhance situational awareness and improve overall safety and effectiveness. Understanding these advanced body language cues can help us better assess situations and interactions, whether in personal or professional settings. Remember to consider context and clusters of behaviors rather than relying on individual signals alone. Case studies of psychological manipulation. Gaslighting in relationships. Gaslighting is a psychological manipulation tactic where the manipulator makes the victim question their own reality, memory, or perceptions. This tactic is often used in abusive relationships to maintain control over the victim. For example, in one documented case, a woman named Sarah found her partner constantly denying things he had said or done, leading her to doubt her own memory and sanity. Over time, Sarah became increasingly dependent on her partner's version of events, feeling confused and isolated. This manipulation severely impacted her self-esteem and mental health, highlighting the destructive power of gaslighting. Cult indoctrination. Cult indoctrination is another extreme form of psychological manipulation. Cult leaders use a variety of tactics to control and exploit their followers. For instance, the infamous case of the Jonestown Massacre, led by Jim Jones, demonstrates how powerful manipulation can be. Jones used techniques such as isolation, constant surveillance, emotional manipulation, and indoctrination to maintain control over his followers. He convinced them to move to a remote commune in Guyana, where he continued to manipulate them until they ultimately committed mass suicide. This case underscores the devastating effects of manipulation in the context of cults. Workplace manipulation. Workplace manipulation can take many forms, often involving toxic bosses or co-workers who use psychological tactics to gain power or control. For instance, in one high-profile case, a manager named Tom used intimidation, favoritism, and misinformation to manipulate his team. He would withhold important information from certain employees, spread false rumors to create distrust, and use public humiliation to undermine confidence. This environment created high levels of stress and anxiety among employees, ultimately leading to decreased productivity and morale. Tom's manipulation tactics illustrate the harmful impact of such behavior in professional settings. Famous historical manipulators. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin used propaganda, fear, and manipulation to maintain power and control in the Soviet Union. Through a combination of censorship, mass surveillance, and brutal purges, Stalin created a climate of fear that silenced opposition and ensured loyalty. He manipulated public perception through state-controlled media, portraying himself as a benevolent leader while ruthlessly eliminating any threats to his power. This manipulation not only maintained his regime but also left a lasting impact on Soviet society. Adolf Hitler is another notorious historical manipulator. His rise to power in Nazi Germany was marked by his use of persuasive speech, propaganda, and manipulation of public opinion. Hitler's speeches were designed to tap into the fears and frustrations of the German people, offering them a scapegoat for their problems and a vision of a better future. He used propaganda to spread his ideology, control information, and create a cult of personality around himself. Hitler's manipulation of public opinion played a crucial role in his ability to implement his destructive policies and lead Germany into World War II. Charles Manson manipulated his followers into committing heinous crimes on his behalf. Manson used a combination of charisma, psychological manipulation, and mind-altering drugs to control his followers. He convinced them that he was a messianic figure and that they were destined to trigger an apocalyptic race war. Manson's ability to manipulate his followers into committing violent acts highlights the extreme consequences of psychological manipulation. Modern-day examples: social media influencers. Social media influencers often use persuasion and manipulation tactics to promote products or ideas to their followers. For example, influencers might use staged photos, misleading endorsements, and emotional appeals to persuade their audience to purchase products. This type of manipulation can be subtle but highly effective, as followers often trust and look up to these influencers. The impact of such manipulation can be significant, leading to changes in consumer behavior and even self-esteem issues among followers who compare themselves to the curated lives of influencers. Political leaders continue to use manipulation tactics in speeches, campaigns, and media appearances. For instance, during election campaigns, politicians may use fearmongering, misinformation, and emotional appeals to sway voters. One contemporary example is the use of targeted misinformation campaigns on social media to influence public opinion and election outcomes. These manipulation tactics can undermine democratic processes and create division within societies. Online scams are a prevalent form of modern-day manipulation. Scammers use a variety of tactics to deceive individuals for financial gain. For example, phishing scams involve sending fraudulent emails that appear to be from legitimate sources, tricking recipients into providing personal information. Another common scam involves creating fake online profiles to establish romantic relationships and then manipulate victims into sending money. The psychological manipulation involved in these scams can have devastating financial and emotional consequences for the victims. Ethical considerations. When discussing psychological tactics, it's crucial to consider the ethical implications involved. Ethical considerations ensure that the use of such tactics does not exploit or harm individuals and that their application is guided by principles of fairness and respect. The ethics of using psychological tactics. Informed consent. One of the fundamental principles of ethical behavior is obtaining informed consent. When using psychological tactics, it is essential to ensure that all parties involved are fully aware of the methods being employed and have given their explicit consent. This means providing clear, comprehensive information about what the tactics entail, their intended effects, and any potential risks. Informed consent respects individuals' rights to make knowledgeable decisions about their involvement. Respect for autonomy. Respecting the autonomy of individuals is another critical ethical consideration. This involves acknowledging and honoring people's capacity to make their own choices without undue influence or coercion. Manipulating or pressuring someone into making a decision against their will violates their autonomy and can have detrimental effects on their psychological well-being. Ethical use of psychological tactics should always prioritize and safeguard the decision-making power of the individuals involved. Do no harm. The principle of do no harm is a cornerstone of ethical practice. When employing psychological tactics, it is vital to avoid causing any mental or emotional harm to others. This includes steering clear of techniques that might induce stress, anxiety, confusion, or any other form of psychological distress. Ensuring that the tactics used are benign and do not inflict harm on individuals is a fundamental aspect of ethical consideration. Responsible use of persuasion and manipulation. Transparency. Transparency is essential when using persuasion and manipulation techniques. Being upfront and honest about your intentions helps build trust and credibility. Deceptive practices that manipulate individuals without their consent are unethical and can damage relationships and reputations. Clear communication about the goals and methods of persuasion ensures that individuals are not misled or manipulated unknowingly. Beneficence. Beneficence refers to the ethical obligation to act in ways that promote the well-being of others. When using manipulation or persuasion, it is important to ensure that the tactics employed aim to benefit others or society as a whole, rather than serving selfish or harmful interests. Ethical persuasion should enhance the welfare of individuals and contribute positively to their lives or to the broader community. Respect for others. Respecting the dignity and rights of others is paramount when employing persuasive tactics. This involves recognizing and honoring the inherent worth of every individual and avoiding actions that exploit their vulnerabilities. Ethical use of psychological tactics requires a commitment to treating others with fairness, respect, and empathy. This includes being mindful of cultural, social, and personal differences that might influence how tactics are perceived and experienced. Conclusion: while psychological tactics can be powerful tools, their ethical use is paramount. Practitioners must balance the effectiveness of persuasion with ethical considerations to ensure they are used responsibly and for the greater good. By upholding ethical principles, we can foster trust, respect, and positive outcomes in our interactions and endeavors. Understanding psychological tactics is essential in navigating social interactions and safeguarding against manipulation. Here's a recap of key points and final thoughts. Recap of key points: psychological understanding. Psychology helps us comprehend human behavior and the subtle cues that influence interactions. Manipulation awareness. Being aware of manipulation tactics such as gaslighting, guilt-tripping, and deception is crucial for protecting oneself. Persuasion techniques. Learning about persuasion principles like reciprocity, authority, and social proof can enhance communication skills. Body language. Reading. Advanced body language reading, including spotting lies, stress signals, and interpreting eye contact, provides valuable insights. Ethical considerations. The ethical use of psychological tactics involves transparency, respect for autonomy, and a focus on beneficence. Final thoughts on psychological tactics. Understanding psychological tactics empowers us to navigate various social situations effectively. Whether in personal relationships, the workplace, or societal interactions, being aware of manipulation techniques allows us to assert boundaries, make informed decisions, and foster healthier connections. By recognizing manipulation, practicing ethical use of persuasion, and respecting boundaries, we can cultivate trust, empathy, and mutual respect in our interactions. Remember, while psychological tactics can be powerful tools for positive influence, using them responsibly is paramount for building meaningful relationships and promoting well-being. Stay informed, stay aware, and use psychological knowledge to empower yourself and others in all aspects of life. Common questions. 1. What are the most effective psychological tricks for persuasion? Some effective psychological tricks for persuasion include reciprocity. People are more likely to help if they feel they owe you something. Social proof, demonstrating that others have benefited from what you're suggesting. Scarcity, highlighting the rarity or limited availability of something to increase its perceived value. Authority, showing expertise or credibility on the subject. Liking, building rapport and finding common ground with the person you are trying to persuade. 2. How can one defend against psychological manipulation? To defend against psychological manipulation, stay informed, understand common manipulation tactics. Set boundaries, be clear about your limits and stick to them. Question motives. Analyze the motives behind requests or actions. Maintain self-awareness. Recognize your own emotional triggers and vulnerabilities. Seek advice. Consult with trusted friends or professionals when in doubt. Point 3. What are the signs of someone using manipulation tactics? Signs of manipulation tactics include guilt-tripping, making you feel guilty to get what they want. Gaslighting, causing you to doubt your own reality or memories. Flattery, excessive compliments to win favor. Pressure, creating a sense of urgency to make you act quickly. Isolation, trying to isolate you from others who might influence you differently. Point 4. Is it ethical to use psychological tricks in everyday life? The ethics of using psychological tricks depend on the intention and impact. If used to manipulate or deceive for selfish gain, it is generally considered unethical. However, if used transparently to encourage positive behavior or mutual benefit, it can be seen as ethical. The key is to prioritize honesty and respect for the other person's autonomy. 5. How can understanding body language improve personal relationships? Understanding body language can improve personal relationships by enhancing communication. Nonverbal cues can provide additional context to spoken words. Building empathy, recognizing emotions through body language can foster empathy and understanding. Resolving conflicts, identifying stress or discomfort can help address issues before they escalate. Strengthening connections. Being attentive to nonverbal signals shows care and attentiveness, strengthening the bond between individuals. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing the video with friends and family. Leave a comment and tell us what you think of the content we provide.